Alright guys, it's time to take a look at the comics coming out this Wednesday, February 9th, so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up guys, BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. Now on this channel, I do comic book unboxings, reviews, and haul videos, so if you're interested in that type of content, consider hitting the subscribe button. But this is the latest in a series that I like to call What I'm Getting, where I take a look at my pull list, I tell you what's on the chopping block, what's on the maybe list, and what I'm definitely grabbing at my comic shop this Wednesday. Speaking of my comic shop, I should tell you this video is sponsored by my LCS, Ultimate Comics. Now, Ultimate Comics has 4 locations here in the Raleigh-Durham area. Raleigh, Durham, Cary, and a brand new location in the Crabtree Valley Mall. They just opened up a new storefront this past Friday, so definitely check that out. But they're the best place to look. If you live in the Triangle area, you're looking for comics, posters, manga, Funko Pops, collectibles, all of that. You can walk into any of their 4 locations and a great staff member will help you out. They've got the friendliest staff, the brightest, cleanest, most organized stores that I've been in the area. So got to give a quick shout out and thanks to Ultimate Comics for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into the series or the books that I'm getting this week. I always like to start with the book that I am most excited for. And this week, that is I Am Batman, issue number 6. So I Am Batman is following Tim Fox, aka Jace Fox, the next Batman from Future State. We've been getting the next Batman's adventures basically for a year now. All written by John Ridley with various artists. And this issue number 6, sees Jace Fox moving to New York City, which is going to be his new base of operations. So New York is getting a Batman. Now, if that wasn't special enough, Ken Lashley is going to be doing the interiors for this issue, which is just, he's one of my favorites. Like, you can't even see it because I didn't angle the camera correctly, but all of the artwork in my office is actually Ken Lashley artwork. So you can tell this is going to be a special issue for me. And honestly, this series has really been picking up steam. It's been really, really good ever since the Fear State crossover event ended. So I'm very excited about this book. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, since we're on DC Comics, let's go ahead and finish out the list. Next up is the Batman and ScoobyDoo Mysteries. I think we're on issue number 11. Now, Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries has just been a really fun book. The last issue, we had Renee Montoya making an appearance as the Question. And, you know, it's just your typical, if you ever watched Scooby-Doo movies back in the day where Scooby-Doo had a bunch of guest stars, this is that, except every episode is the Batman episode, which it's just fun. It's fun. It's tropey. The issues don't depend on each other. You can grab any one of them for the low, low price of $2.99 and just enjoy yourself for 10 minutes. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like I said, this book's got a cover price of $2.99. I'm getting cover A. Next up is Batman Catwoman issue number 10. Batman Catwoman, written by Tom King. And this time we've got artwork from Clay Mann. Clay Mann has returned to the series after taking a 3-issue break. And then last month we had the Batman Catwoman special, that was last week, with art by John Paul Leon, the late John Paul Leon. Very emotional, touching tribute, but now we're getting back into the actual story. I'm very excited to see Clay Mann return to artwork. He was the whole reason I was excited about this series. And we'll see how this wraps up. We only got these 3 issues left. So Batman Catwoman number 10's got a cover price of $4.99. It's always hard to choose between cover A by Clay Mann and cover B by Jim Lee, but I'm definitely going cover A this time around. Next up, we've got Detective Comics issue 1052. Now, 1052, or Detective Comics, it's been a weekly series since January, basically, or the end of December. And I can't lie, I have fallen behind. There are too many books coming out every single week. And Detective Comics was the first one to kind of flop for me. But I've been picking it up because 1, I'm never dropping Detective Comics. And 2, these Lee Bermejo variants, Come on, dog. You gotta get it. You gotta get the Lee Bermejo variant. This one with Batman just standing in front of the Arkham gate with the Batmobile, like, it's just begging to be in your collection. It's like it's begging to be in mine. So that's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm getting the cardstock cover B. And next up, gosh, man, I think every book on this list is a Batman book again this week. But we're looking at The Joker, issue number 12. Joker by James Tynion, art by Guillaume March. Is it Guillaume? Gillum? Somebody let me know. Somebody who knows. Like, just put it in the comments, you know. But anyway, this series I've been following pretty loosely. I'm only buying it because James Tynion is writing it, and he's doing some really compelling stuff with Punchline in the backup stories, which I've been enjoying pretty well. So this has a cover price of $5.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is a book that has been pushed back. It was supposed to be a 2021 annual, but alas, it's 2022, and we're finally getting the Justice League 2022 annual. So, I mean, it's Justice League. It's written by Brian Michael Bendis, which might cause a deep sigh for some people, but this one's got artwork by Sanford Green. Sanford Green, I mean, he's done art on all sorts of major characters. I love his artwork. He's probably most notable here recently for Bitter Root. I love his art on Bitter Root. I love seeing him do sketches on Instagram. So when I found out Sanford Green was doing the art on this annual, I'm like, I don't even care what the story's like. I need that in my eyeballs. So Sanford Green art definitely makes this worth the cover price of $5.99. I'm just getting cover A. And the last book on my DC Comics pull list is Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 8. We're finally getting into some action. It's time for some action. And I'm excited about it. John Kent has been, figuring out his identity, figuring out what causes he wants to champion, figuring out a whole bunch of stuff. But now the fight has come to John Kent, and I'm excited to see how he handles it. So this has got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And that's it. As if that wasn't enough. For my DC Comics pull list, we're looking at a total of for my DC Comics, we're looking at a total of $33 this week. Definitely a heavy DC week, but I mean, I don't expect anything less. It's DC. And now let's move on to Marvel. I'm wearing a Marvel hat, but I'm clearly more of a DC fan, especially if we're looking at this week as evidence. But 3 books on my Marvel pull list this week. The first up being Amazing Spider-Man issue number 88.BEY. So we're in the middle of this Beyond storyline. It's a weekly series. We're getting tie-ins. I mean, we literally just had 14 chapters of Beyond. Why are they having to break it up to do the .BEY? Like, did they not have enough issues? But hey, every issue has been compelling in its own right. Some of them certainly feel like filler. I'm hoping this one doesn't. The track record has been that the so-called filler issues, the .BEYs and stuff like that, actually end up having some pretty vital things happening. So we'll see how this one goes. We did get an appearance from Queen Goblin last week, a first appearance, so probably get some more action from her. That's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up on my Marvel Comics pull list is Devil's Reign issue number 4. Devil's Reign has been actually pretty interesting as well. It's Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil event, but it really kind of encompasses the whole Marvel street level New York City universe, right? We've got appearances from Fantastic Four. We had a character like really show that they were not being themselves. So that was interesting. The action is good. The art by Marco Cicchetto is worth the price of entry, even if you don't like the story. But the story is interesting enough. It's just a story that we've seen several times in the past, or at least a version of it, right? So Devil's Reign number 4 has got a cover price of $4.99. I'm just getting the cover A. And there's one more book on my Marvel pull list, and that is the X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 2. Now, this ties into the 10 Lives of Wolverine series, which I still haven't read my stack of last week's books yet, so I can't tell you how 10 Lives was. But X Deaths, if we're picking up like from that series, we had a Moira McTaggart focused issue. We're learning a lot about Moira McTaggart and what she's doing in the aftermath of Inferno. This has been like a really high stakes series so far. So I'm excited to get to my stack from this week, which is sitting right over my shoulder. But I had to make this video first. This one's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A, and that's it for my Marvel comics. So if I just stick to the list, my Marvel comics are going to cost me $15 this week. Not bad, not bad. Now, let's move on to the independent, the creator-owned, the smaller publishers. First up, we're looking at Radiant Black issue number 12. Radiant Black is honestly top 3 superhero titles for me, and the fact that it's not coming from the big 2 is like, that's saying something. Really, really compelling series. We're learning a little bit more and more about each character, each Radiant color, so to speak. Man, I've really been thoroughly enjoying this series. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up on the smaller publisher list is The Scorched, issue number 2. The Scorched being Todd McFarlane's team book, Spawn team book. So we got She-Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, Medieval Spawn, Plague Spawn, and they're teaming up to fight different threats. Honestly, I don't know how long this is going to stay on the pull list. I like pulling Spawn books because they're only $2.99. The quality is always good. The artwork is always good. But, I mean, Spawn is just kind of... There's not much development in Spawn usually, and do I need Spawn every week? But yes, I don't know if I need Spawn every week. If I really had to drill down, I would probably keep Gunslinger Spawn, definitely. And then maybe, well, I gotta keep regular Spawn, right? Gotta keep that run going. I probably don't need the Scorched or King Spawn, but I'll have to read them and make that determination. Find out next week. The Scorched number 2's got a cover price of $2.99. And I'm getting the cover A. Next up is 7 Secrets, issue number 14. Now, funny enough, I just got my copy of issue 13 this past week because there was an accident with the truck that was carrying the diamond shipment. So I just got issue 13. So now I'll get to read issue 13 and 14 in back-to-back days, probably. I'm probably not reading issue 13 until Tuesday. But I'm very excited about the return of this series. Tom Taylor had been on hiatus. I mean, he's been busy enough doing Dark Ages and Dark Knights of Steel and Son of Kal-El and Nightwing. Like, he's got a lot of books on his plate, but I'm hoping that this series hasn't suffered as a result, because that would be a shame. But 7 Secrets issue 14's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. So if I just stick to that list, my indies are only going to cost me $11 this week for a grand total. Are we ready? A grand total of $59. Now, that is $9 over budget. I was under budget last week, so I'm not ready to, cry home or, call the cavalry or whatever. After my 10% subscriber discount, I'll actually save, what, $5? So all hope is not lost. That's not a bad day. But I don't like hitting my limit that often. So we're going to have to take a look and see if there's some titles that need to go. If I had to cut something off the list this week, I'd probably cut off The Scorched. And that's probably it, actually. That's probably it. I'd cut off The Scorched, which will only save me $3. And maybe The Joker. But The Joker is so close to ending. So, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to take the L. But at least I'm taking the L publicly and letting you know, hey, I messed up. I went over budget. Somebody buy a t-shirt or something. Then I'll be back up budget, right? Anyway, that's my pull list. Now, if you're looking for the full list of books coming out this week, because I don't cover everything in these videos, then you got to visit the link in the description below. Go to comicsaredope.com. That is my home on the internet. I do articles and we do pull list or basically weekly new release breakdowns. We got some editorial content coming up very, very soon. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, definitely join in there, join the fun, and make sure you sign up for the email list. You'll get my daily or my weekly email. It's called This Week in Comics, where I break down books that are going on FOC, Final Order Cutoff, as well as some of the hotter books coming out in the upcoming week, and some news articles as well. Hope there's a little bit something for everybody that's a comic fan. Now, that's going to do it for my pull list. I want to know what's on yours though. So let me know in the comments below which books you're grabbing that maybe aren't on my list, or what you're most excited for that I did mention. But that's going to do it for me this week. I hope you saw something you liked. And if not, hey, that's cool. Because you can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy. And be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.